What was the name, sir? Michael Rivera.
All right, everyone, you probably want to make sure you're muted because we can hear everything that's being said from your end. All right, everyone, welcome to the 187 District Court. You're in the courtroom. So what does that mean? That means you have to behave as though you were physically in a courtroom. So the driving, the do-rags, the shades, everyone needs to remove those. All right. If anyone who's on the Zoom screen is not behaving professionally, you're going to be required to appear in the 187th District Court. It's on the 4th floor, 300 De La Rosa. To all the inmates, you're not allowed to use the chat box. If you use the chat box, you will be sent back. To everyone else, including inmates, this is not a time for you to pick up dates. This is not The Bachelor. This is not The Bachelorette. If you do any of this, you probably will be taken back to your cell. And those of you who are on bond, you will be required to appear in person. I'm going to open up breakout rooms. When I open the breakout rooms, it will invite you to breakout rooms. Do not go to a breakout room unless I specifically call your name and assign you to a breakout room. To all of those who are defendants or accused, you will hear your attorney's name. Your name will not be called. If you do not hear your attorney's name, it's because your attorney is Zooming in another courtroom. Be patient. Your attorney will arrive on the Zoom as soon as they finish Zooming in their courtroom. To all attorneys, if you see your name is low on the list and you want to Zoom to another courtroom, you're more than welcome to Zoom to another courtroom. However, if you Zoom to another courtroom and your name is called, you will be placed at the end of the line. Attorneys, if you have an agreement with the state, no matter how small that agreement is, you need to put that in the chat box to Ferguson coordinator. That's how she's listed on the screen. She will need to get proper paperwork for you and your client. If your client is on bond, she will need your client's email address. This is the order in which attorneys will appear: John Young, Linda Corley, Glenn Payne, Miguel Nahara, Sonny Middleton, Laura Lefton, David Collins, Brian Marks, Michael Latimer, Alice Warburton, James Ishimoto, Bill Simmons, Abelardo Garza, Edward Garza, Colin Hobbs, Oscar Cantu, Cal Ernst, James Toshi, Javier Garcia, and Terry Carter. Is there any defense attorney's name that I have missed? Okay.
I'm here, Your Honor, Lauren Carrington Smythe.
Okay. All right, any other attorney whose name I've missed? All right, attorneys, when I call your name, I'm going to need the name of your client and whether or not it's criminal trial division or family violence. When I assign you to a breakout room, think of it like you're going to the doctor's office, because as you can see, there are more defense attorneys than there are prosecutors. When you go see the doctor and they call you to the back, you're really not going to see the doctor yet. They're sending you to a breakout room to check your weight and blood pressure. So consider that room your blood pressure and weight check. If you leave that room to tell me that you haven't seen an attorney yet, what will happen is the attorney will see that that room is empty. And when they see that room is empty, they're going to skip over you and go to the next room. The first person up, John Young.
Hello, madam.
Hello.
I have Brendan Richardson. We have an agreement. I need to talk to Hunter.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. And everybody, today is Tuesday. Let's keep it a Tuesday. Let's not try to turn it into a Monday. Okay, John Young, you're in number 2. Linda Corley.
Good morning. I have two clients this morning, Judge. I have a Sarah Huseman, and I do need to speak with a prosecutor on that case. I believe it's CTD.
You say
And
Sarah Houston?
Huseman, Huisman.
Okay, and then the other case?
The other one is Alexander Willis, and he is having some problems with his audio, so I had to log out and try to sign back in. I do need to address that with you because he does have a warrant, but we have a plea agreement and that I worked out with Joe Ray, so I'm hoping we could go forward with that. It would be for deferred.
All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you, Judge.
Just 1 second, let me rename you. Okay. All right, so I'm sending you to number 3. Glenn Payne.
Judge, I have Jason Meager on the docket. He's in custody. We reset this last time because he rejected the plea. And as far as I know, he wants to go to trial. I would like to speak to him if it's possible, to the client.
All right, is your last name Meagher?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it CTD or criminal trial?
Oh, CTD, excuse me.
Okay. Okay, he's not on the Zoom screen yet. Just give us a moment.
Thank you.
We'll see. And I'll send you the breakout room there. When he comes in, I'll send him in there. And just in case you want to speak with criminal trial division again, I'll send you to number 4.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Miguel Nahara.
Good morning, Judge. I'm actually here on 2 separate cases. One is a defense on Mr. Gavino Vada. I need to probably confer briefly with Mr. Nisbet. This is on a motion to amend bond.
I'm sorry, you went out.
Oh, this was on a motion to amend bond. So I
Okay.
probably need to chat with Mr. Nisbet real quick before we approach the court. And then secondly, I'm here as a pro tem on Richard Montes, and that is on Mr. Cantu's motion to amend bond or to set a bond on that case. And I believe that's why Mr. Shimoto is here. He may be here on a separate case as well, but okay, no, he's just here for that.
Okay, all right. If you all will wait, then Miguel, let me see if Tom is available because then he can talk to you. Yeah, he is. I'm going to send you to number 5, and then when you come out, we'll take up all the other matters after I assign everybody.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Sonny Middleton.
Yes, Your Honor. Excuse me. Yes, Your Honor. I'm here on Andrew Orozco, and I would need Tom also.
Okay. I'll send you to number 6.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Laura Lefton. Laura Lefton.
Hi, Judge. Sorry. I'm here on Fawad Flores, and it's a family violence matter, ma'am.
I'll send you to number 7.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. David Willis. Oh, sorry, David Collins. Can't read my own writing.
Morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I have, well, it's kind of weird. I have Melissa Sanchez, but I also have paperwork saying Stephanie Hernandez with the same case and everything. So I guess if one of the two is on the docket, it's an
And is it
NTR.
criminal trial division or family violence?
It's a non-family violence case. It's an NTR.
Sorry, what?
It's a non-family violence. It's an MTR.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 8.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Brian Marks.
Good morning, Judge. How are you doing today?
Great. How's it going for you?
Very well, thank you, ma'am. I'm here on a CTD recall from last Thursday. You were so kind to give my client, Ryan Flores, a chance to amend her PTD app, which she did and submitted on Thursday. So
Okay.
The application's been submitted. At this point, I don't know what we need to do.
All right, Norma, can you check on Brian Flores, the PTD?
Yes, ma'am.
Michael Latimer.
Cases both.
Michael Latimer.
Yes, I'm here on two cases. CTD, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Two
Yes.
cases. One is Leo Hernandez, a trial setting. The other one is Homero Vasquez Tellez, that's a MTR. I've already confirmed.
Wait a minute. Back up. So Leah Hernandez, CTD, and who else?
And Homero Vasquez Tellez, MTR.
And that with Tejas, is that criminal trial division or family violence?
No, it's criminal trial division. Well, I guess it could be also family violence. The MTR is a possession. The new case is an assault family.
All right, I'm going to send you. Let
And
me
I've already
rename
conferred
this.
with the state, and I've already conferred with my client because the state has offered him two options, and he was going to decide which option he would like to take. So if I could talk to him.
Okay, who do you want to speak to?
Homero Vasquez Tellez.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 9.
All right, thank you.
And is your client in custody or on bond?
Homero is in custody. Leo Hernandez is on bond.
All right, I don't see Tejas on the screen. So I'll send you to number 9 to confer with attorneys on the other case you have. And then once your client comes on screen, I'll put him in the breakout room with you.
All right, thank you.
Judge,
Alice,
he raised his hand. He's in, he's raising his hand, 187. I can't see what seat he's in.
Okay. Oh, his last name is Vasquez. Didn't he say Tejas?
I think it's hyphenated.
All right, what is your, unmute, sir, what's your full name?
Homero Vasquez Tellez. Homero Vasquez Tellez.
Okay, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 9. All right, Alice Warburton. Alice Warburton. Alice Warburton going once, going twice.
Judge, this is Ruben Flores. I got a call from Alice. She was hired on Leslie Wartek, which I was appointed on, but she's stuck in Mexico. Apparently there's a hurricane over there.
Oh, okay.
And she's flying out sometime today, but she asked me to ask you to recall it tomorrow or whenever the next docket is for you guys.
Does anyone else find it, and this is not on you, Ruben, but does anyone else find it odd that she can call Ruben but not the court? I mean, I'll just put that out there.
Yeah. All right, Jess.
Tom, Ruben's a player, man.
Ruben has the red backbone to get to Mexico. He goes, "Hello, Mexico. Yes, there's a hurricane. Thank you."
And actually, the hurricane, I think, is in the Caribbean, not in Mexico.
I think we have snippy Canadians.
Well, maybe
Okay.
she's in the Yucatan.
Just give me 1 second, Ruben. All right, James Ishimoto, you're on this case with Brenda. Did I not call today? No, did I call it? All right.
You're flustered now.
James Ishimoto, you're on Montez, correct?
Yes, Judge, I will wait patiently.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Bill Simmons.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Yes, who do you have?
I have Mr. Vegas,
What's the first name?
Davis Villegas. It's a family violence case. We need to confer, Judge.
All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 10.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Albelardo Garza.
Yes, Your Honor. I'm here on Emil Thomas. He's got two cases and I'm only appointed to one of them. I don't know who the attorney is on the second one.
All right, it is Ray Ramuldo Orta.
on the assault.
Sorry?
He's on aggravated assault. Or stuff.
All right, so I'm gonna send you, your case, is it a family violence case
No,
or?
it's a CTD, Judge. I think
All
they're
right.
both CTDs.
All right, Norma, and can you find Mr. Orchard, please, and have him zoom in? And Abelardo, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 11.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Edward Garza.
Good morning, Judge. I'm here on Humberto Sanchez. I believe we have a plea deal. I just need to confer with, I think, Joe Ray. But can I have the court's permission just to go over to Judge Carruthers' court real quick and do a informal hearing and come right back?
Sure. Colin Hobbs.
Thank you.
I'm present, Judge. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I've got Francisco Tristan. It's family violence. I've already changed my name on the screen.
Hey, I appreciate that, Colin. I'm gonna send
Absolutely.
you, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 12.
Thanks, Judge.
Oscar Cantu, you're here on Montez, Kyle Ernst.
Yes, Judge, we're just going to wait patiently for Mr. Naheda to get back.
All right, thank you. Kyle Ernst, who do you have?
Yes, Judge, I have Francisco Rocha. It's a CTD case. I talked to his wife. He should be in the courtroom or on his way to the courtroom. And I just need an offer. It's his first setting.
All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 13. That is a lucky room, believe it or not.
And Judge, I'm back from my breakout room.
Just one moment. James Toshi.
Morning, Judge. I am here on Mr. Julian Kane Hughes. I see him on the screen. We have submitted and been approved for a PTD, and so I'm not quite sure why we're here right now.
Oh, I'll tell you, just give me one moment.
Okay.
I'm gonna circle back around. Javier Garcia.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm here for Steven Sancho. It's a family case. Mr. Locke's the attorney of record. We were given today's setting as to consider a plea that was extended to last setting. However, we wish to, client rejects the plea and wishes to move for a trial.
Okay, just one second. Let me circle back around to you. Terry Carter. Terry Carter.
Judge, I'm here on Nicholas Valdez, CTD.
All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 14. Thanks for changing your name.
You're welcome, Judge.
Lauren Smythe.
Yes, I'm here on that, Your Honor. I'm here for Jessica Del Bosque.
Okay. And is it criminal trial division or family violence?
It's, I believe, criminal trial division. I think it's actually a violation report. Has an in-home, or no, she has an ignition interlock.
Okay.
And did a violation report.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 15. David Woodard.
Good morning, Judge. I have an MTR with you on Laurel Peterson, and it should be a trial division case.
All right, I'm gonna send you to number 16. Ed Bartholomew. You're on mute, Ed.
Lagish, I know. I'm on Mr. Lagish, Your Honor. There's been no change. He's not accepting the plea agreement.
All right, just give me a moment. I'll circle back around to you.
Thank you.
Juan Aguilar.
Yes, ma'am. I am here on Hector Sanchez Gonzalez or Hector Gonzalez Sanchez. It was a PTD application. We filed the application. Still haven't heard back from Ms. Chavez. There was also some upfront restitution, and the upfront restitution was paid this morning.
All right, just give me a moment. I'm gonna circle back around to you. Ed Shaughnessy.
Present, Your Honor. My understanding is this is a sentencing on a Stephanie Gonzalez. And I haven't had contact with her in a long time. I don't know if she's in custody or what her status is.
I think she's in the courtroom.
Yes, she's in the courtroom.
Oh, good. She's a victim of a war on drugs, Your Honor, so I guess that's Mr. Nisbet's deal.
Oh, okay. I'll send you, Ed, do you need to speak with your client?
Yes, I do.
All right, I'm gonna send you to breakout room number 17.
17.
If he could put his email in the chat for the PSI and tap if he hasn't received it.
Ed, if you can put your email in the chat box, please.
Indeed, I will.
Okay, so we're gonna come back around and I'm gonna start with Ruben Flores because I'm a firm believer that no good deeds, they say no good deed goes unpunished, but I don't want him to be punished. Ruben, you came in on who?
On Leslie Warwick or something like that.
Okay, Wyatt Trek. So I saw Miss Alice Warburton. She was on the screen, but I guess maybe the hurricane or whatever came through. Hopefully the people in Mexico will be okay. So here's my question. Is she listed as retained counsel? Can someone check on that for me?
Can you give me a SID? Do you have a SID or a case number there, Judge?
The case number is, she is listed. It's 2021 CR 1175. All right, the next question, Leslie Wiatrick. Are you on the Zoom screen? Is she in custody or on bond?
It's a dude, and I think he should be in custody.
He's in custody, Judge.
All right. Mr. Wiatrick, could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the attorney you hired has informed the court that she's in Mexico in a hurricane or something of that nature. So your case is not going today.
Yes, ma'am.
Ruben, do you know when she will be back?
She was gonna catch a flight today that they opened up the airport. And she was asking to recall these for tomorrow.
Yeah, we're not gonna be able to recall this for tomorrow. Norma, can you recall this for next week?
Yes, ma'am. I'll send her the email.
What date?
It'll be Friday.
All right, so Mr. Wiatrek, how do you pronounce your last name, sir?
Viatric.
Viatric. That's a V. Okay. We're gonna bring you back on July 9th.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Norma, that is 14H. Brenda, do you see what page he's on?
I couldn't find him.
He's on the MTR at the bottom on page 28.
All right, thank you. All right, Ruben, thank you so much for coming in. You're excused.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. All right, then we have Brian Marks.
Good morning, Judge. Again.
Ryan Flores.
Yes, ma'am.
Norma, did you check on Ryan Flores? Did you check on the PTD?
I send you a chat, Judge.
Okay.
I believe it was originally submitted last Wednesday and then had to be resubmitted after our hearing on Thursday, Judge, just to
Okay.
complete.
All right, so we're going to come back on August 3rd to give her time to complete everything that needs to be completed on the PTD.
Noted, Judge.
All right, you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Judge. You have yourself a great rest of your week.
Oh, it is going to be beautiful. I'm claiming it.
Hey, just stay away from the west coast of Mexico, right?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, bye-bye.
Take care.
All right, the next person who has a PTD, James Toshi.
Yes, ma'am.
Your client is Hughes. Okay, where are we on the status of the PTD? Have they filed it? What's happening?
It has been requested and approved, Judge, is my understanding.
All right, Norma, when do we need to come back on Hughes for a PTD update?
Same date, Judge.
All right, we'll see you back on August 3rd. Everything should probably be completed by then.
August 3rd?
Yes.
All right.
So you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Take care of yourself and don't brag about the scars.
I will and I won't. Trust me.
All right, and then Orta, I'm going to send you to a breakout room with, let me see who it was. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 11 because you're on Demel Thomas as well. So a prosecutor will meet you in that breakout room.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Javier Garcia.
Hello again, Your Honor.
Hi, Stephen Sancho. You're saying that's going to be a trial. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, where's Stephen Sancho?
I did see his login earlier.
Can you hear me and see me now?
Yes, I can. I'm going to send you to a breakout room to confer on a trial date with the state.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1.
Thank you.
Is that both of us going to breakout?
No.
Your Honor. Okay.
No, it is not. Just give us a moment.
Yes.
And Norma, can you give me trial dates in the chat box, please?
Yes,
And then Juan Aguilera, you had a
Thank you very
PTD
much, ma'am. I
on
appreciate
Hector
your help, and I'm sorry
Sanchez.
for calling so late.
Yes, ma'am. And we were just awaiting, we filed a PTD, just awaiting word from Ms. Chavez.
Okay, what is your client's name?
Hector Gonzalez Sanchez. Rather, Sanchez Gonzalez. It's either one, I think it's Gonzalez Sanchez.
Okay. So has all the paperwork been filled out?
All the paperwork was submitted. He was supposed to make some upfront restitution. He has made that upfront restitution.
All right, so Norma, when are we coming back on Hector Gonzalez Sanchez?
Same date as the other ones, Judge.
All right.
August the 3rd?
Yes, August 3rd.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. You and your client are excused.
And he is there, so I'm hoping he's hearing all this. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, and then Linda Corley.
Yes, Your Honor, we are working on paperwork for Mr. Willis, and if I could go into a breakout room with Marcus Sanders on Sarah Huseman.
All right, Mr. Sanders is not on the Zoom screen, but I'm sure there's another prosecutor who can help you out.
Okay, well, I don't know. I mean, he's been working on this. He was supposed to be calling the
they'll be able to
okay,
check
very good.
the screen their chat boxes to see what's in there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, John Young.
Hello, Your Honor. I've talked to Hunter. Told him that we have an agreement on Brandon Richardson.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I got a call from my client a little bit ago saying he was having trouble getting on the Zoom. We're doing that. So I've given him the numbers again. We'll see if he's successful this time.
All right, awesome.
He's got a village helping him.
Oh, okay. All right, let me see who's in the breakout room. So we have David Collins on Stephanie Hernandez in breakout room number 8 for criminal trial division. Alberto Garza and Orta in 11 on Demel Thomas criminal trial division. Colin Hobbs in 12 for family violence. Terry Carter in 14 for criminal trial division. All right. And Mr. Garcia, just wait. And we'll have someone from Family Violence come in so we can get a trial date for you. Glenn Payne.
Judge, I spoke to Meredith in the breakout room. Mr. Meager's still not on our panel here. He's in custody, but she said that he's showing on bond on a PR bond. Y'all brought him the last 2 times, but I don't know if he made the list today.
Norman, can you check on Jason Meager, please?
I'm sorry, I didn't plan right.
He didn't make the list, Judge.
All right, is he in custody or on bond?
Judge, he's in custody, but Meredith looked it up and says it's shown on a PR bond, but he's been in on a blue warrant since January. He's been on the panel the last 2 times.
All right, what do you anticipate is happening with Mr. Meager?
Go ahead.
The last time I spoke to him, he rejected the plea and wanted a trial.
All right, Norman, can you call Mr. Meager for next week, please?
And Judge, I'm sorry, was I going to breakout room 3 again to wait for Market, to whoever?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
All right, what date is he coming back?
Yeah, tell him. I didn't put it because.
I'm bringing back on the 7th.
All right, and let's make sure that he's listed as jail on the.
Yes, ma'am, but on the docket, it just says he's out on bond.
All right,
I'll make sure it changes, Judge.
okay, thank you. Glenn?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll see you back on July 7th.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome.
Hi, Judge. It's Lauren Lefton, whenever you have a second.
Yes, just give me a moment. All right, yes, Ms. Lefton.
So I did speak to Joe Ray, and there are still some outstanding discovery issues. If we could get a reset, him and I are going to make sure that I have everything before the next setting.
Okay, what discovery issues?
I don't have a lot of the evidence. I don't have like the photos or the that kind of evidence that's missing. So.
All right, Norma, on Fuad Flores, can I have a 30-day reset for discovery, please?
Yes, ma'am, we can come back on August 4th.
Okay, no. Put it sometime in July. Give me 3 weeks then.
We can do July 21st, Judge.
Is it possible, could we do the week of the 26th? Is that an option instead?
That's too late in the month. This case is getting old.
Well, this is actually our first setting. This was a CM warrant. So
no, this is a second setting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Norma, can you do it the week of the 12th?
The 12th. Okay.
July 16th?
July 16th.
Okay. I will be here. Okay.
All right,
Thank
we'll
you,
see you
ma'am.
then for
All right.
discovery.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
All right,
too.
Mr.
Thank you.
Fuad, thank you, Mr. Fuad. You're excused. All right, let me see who else is back.
Judge Ed
Yes.
Garza, I'm back from my hearing with Judge Carruthers. I had already chatted with, or sent a chat to Norma for the paperwork on Sanchez, Humberto. And if I could speak to Joe Ray, I believe to get the paperwork from him, in a breakout room.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 18.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Tony Hernandez.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning. Who do you have?
I have Jonathan Herrera Mejia. This is one that was going to be refiled as a misdemeanor, and they were going to plead him on the misdemeanor. We were here about 2 weeks ago, I think.
All right. Is it criminal child division or family violence?
Criminal trial division. I've been speaking to Marcus and Tom about that.
All right. I'll send you to breakout room number 19 and let's see what's going on with it.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And let me see. Miguel Nahara, you're back.
I am, Judge. I was able to confer with Mr. Nisbet. We do not have any agreement on the new bond motion. I'm not sure this honorable court has a copy in front.
Well, let's do this. Before we take that up, let's take up the matter with Mr. Montez.
Okay, certainly, Judge.
All right, because there are a lot of people on here for that. So who are all of the parties?
Judge, can you put us in a breakout room, Mr. Montez and I? I don't think Mr. Castagnon's here.
Okay. No,
I'm here.
He's here. Yeah, he's here.
Okay, yeah, the three of us, please, Judge, just for a second.
Okay, sure. I'll send you to breakout room number 7.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Montez, if you'll go to 7, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, may I approach you? And also, could I be placed in a breakout room with my client? I have an offer to convey to them.
Who is your client?
Mr. Davis Villegas.
Is he in custody or on bond?
He's on bond, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Davis Villegas, where are you? Davis Villegas. All right, as soon as your client appears, we will put you in a breakout room with him.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Miguel Nahara, you wanted to speak then about Gabino Vara?
Correct, Judge, correct. I submitted a motion. This honorable court was kind enough to grant some partial house arrest issues a little over a month ago. I'm following up with a couple of other requests my client would like this court to consider. I've got the motion in front of me now. I separated it into 3 separate orders so this honorable court could look at them separately. One is allowing him to, right now he does have partial house arrest and is allowed.
All right,
to,
let me ask you this. Is this the second motion to amend conditions? Is that what its title is?
He titled as 4th, Judge.
Okay.
Oh, no,
just
it is
hold on.
titled as 2nd. It is titled as 2nd. I apologize. I messed it up. It should say 4th, but it's titled as 2nd.
Okay. Is there an agreement on this or no?
There is no agreement, Judge.
Then we will need to have a hearing. Let me see if Mr. Nesbitt is available. Tom Nesbitt, are you available?
He's on his way, Judge.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Excuse me, Judge, I got to get to Victoria today. Can I ask the court to give us a trial date sometime in September on Mr. Lagish? And I will have a motion coming to analyze the bruises, Your Honor, by an expert.
We're not going to do a jury trial in September. It's going to be sooner than September. Norma,
Late August then, Your Honor?
Yes. Norma, when can we set Mr. Sean Lagish for jury trial?
Give me a second, Judge.
And is there a family violence prosecutor available?
I'm here, Judge. Sure.
Okay.
I can do.
Where's your client, Mr. Bartlome?
He should have logged on. I gave him your Zoom, Your Honor, this morning at 8 o'clock.
Mr. Lagish, where are you?
I'm right here.
How are you listed on the screen?
I don't know. 821, I guess. That's my phone.
Brenda, do you see him anywhere?
Galaxy A21.
All right, thank you. All right, Norma, what date do we have?
I put it in the chat, Judge.
Date is either going to be July 22nd or August 6th.
I'm on vacation, Your Honor, for
On
the
what
month of
date?
July. So it would be, and I have a sexual assault on August the 6th, Your Honor. Is there a date later in the month? It'll be a short trial. I don't think there's a big number of witnesses.
All right, then we'll leave for August 6th. We'll see what happens.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
No. Court is calling 2019 CR 13891, State of Texas versus Sean Lagish. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Joe Ray Garcia.
For the defense?
Ed Bartolome, on behalf of Mr. Lagish, Your Honor. Mr. Lagish has been extended a plea offer, Your Honor. He is not accepting it this time, and we're requesting a trial date, Judge.
All right,
And he is present, Your Honor, for the record.
thank you. Mr. Lagish, are you requesting a jury trial?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your jury trial date will be August 6th.
Okay.
You will need to be in the courtroom at 9 a.m.
Okay.
It's 187 District Court. We're on the 4th floor. The address is 300 Dolorosa. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll see you then on August 6th for your jury trial.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
All right,
And may
thank
we
you.
both be excused, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank the court for their consideration. Sean, I'll give you a call.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, sorry about that, Mr. Nahara.
Never a problem, Judge.
Okay, so Tom, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, the court is calling 2019 CR 11408, State of Texas versus Gavina Vara. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Tom Nisbet.
for the defense?
Yeah, Nájera for the defense, Judge.
All right, and if you could unmute for me, sir, Mr. Vara. Are you Gavina Vara?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
None.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we are here on a second motion to amend conditions of bond that's been filed by the defense. State, have you had a chance to review defense's motion?
Yes.
And are you ready to proceed, state?
Yes.
All right, defense, it's your motion. You may begin.
As you're aware, there were some extraordinary circumstances that happened in this case. My client was originally on bond and had the ability to both go to church, work at the present employment he has at the Days Inn and Suites, and he was also working side jobs building decks. At one point, as this court remembers, he cut his monitor off, but that same evening went and turned himself in at the jail. We had a hearing sometime after that where the court decided to reinstate his bond, and after some time allowed him to go back and start working once again at the Days Inn and Suites. At this time, we're asking for a little more leeway, Judge. We're asking not only for his ability to work overtime at the Days Inn and Suites, but he's asking once again to be able to attend church on Sundays at Templo La Hermosa and continue working those side jobs. He had some outstanding jobs he had not finished, building decks, and he's asking the court's leave to be able to do those.
Okay, all right, let's start with the first one. State, do you have any objections to him working overtime at his present employment?
Yes.
Okay, and what are those objections? Why are you objecting?
Judge, the narrative to this defendant's bond is considerably longer than the defendant's recitation, although he's just making it short for the court. The defendant has a number of bond approval extensions that he received throughout the latter half of 2020, culminating in his cutting his monitor. We recently agreed to reinstate the partial after he cut his monitor. But at this time, the state's position is that is as much leeway as we are giving this particular defendant based on the chronology and the history of this defendant's bond events. So if you're going to ask me the second question on that bond, I'm going to tell you opposed as well, because it just as a global position, that is our global position on this defendant in this case.
All right, this is what the court will do. The motion to attend Templo La Hermosa, that's denied. The motion to travel to different locations, that's denied. The court will reconsider that once the defendant has proven himself on GPS. The court will allow him to have overtime at his present employment. That's once he's provided proof of that, and he needs to provide proof of that overtime within 24 hours prior to working any overtime. Is there
Thank you, Your
anything
Honor.
else?
No, Your Honor, but as far as reconsideration, is there a time frame? Well, obviously, we have a setting coming up in September as it is, a trial setting, but assuming, obviously, if the trial goes, this kind of will be moot at that point, but is there a period of time before that the court would allow me to re-urge these motions?
He can come back, if you want to come back in 3 months, just to show me how he's doing, that he hasn't had any violations, the court will of course reconsider.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, and when is our next court date on this case?
If I remember correctly, Judge, let me double check my calendar because I've been putting a lot of trials in there. I think we're set for trial in September. That sounds correct.
September 14th.
Or 14th.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Then we will see you for trial, Mr. Vera. It's going to be in the 187th District Court. It'll be on the 4th floor, 300 De La Rosa. And Mr. Nahara, if you don't need to speak with Mr. Vera anymore, he's excused.
Yeah, Mr. Vada, I will call you here momentarily after I'm done with court.
All right, let me see if they're ready on Montez. Just 1 second. Are you all ready on Mr. Montez? Okay, they're still in the breakout room with Mr. Montez. All right, the next person who needs a trial date is Javier Garcia on Mr. Sancho. So Javier, we have July 22nd or August 6th.
Your Honor, it would have to be the August 6th. I believe Mr. Locke has a vacation letter on file for that week of July, so we would ask for August the 6th.
Judge, I'm actually out on August 6th.
Okay. Norma, can you give me another date, please, for Mr. Sancho for jury trial?
We can do September 14th, Norma, if that's okay.
That's fine. Okay. September 14th, Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to go on the record. Mr. Sancho, I need you to unmute and show your video.
Can you hear me now? And
Yes, you need to start your video. All right. The court is calling 2020 CR 12053, State of Texas versus Steven Sancho. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
David Martin.
For the defense?
Javier Garcia and Mr. Shannon Locke, the attorney of record.
All right, Mr. Sancho, do you have any objection to Mr. Garcia standing in for Mr. Locke?
No, I don't.
All right. No. So defense, have you received all the discovery in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
The state will note, according to the court's file, the court does not have an acknowledgement of discovery. State, are you able to have the acknowledgement of discovery to the court by July 16th?
Yes.
All right, defense, my understanding, an offer has been tendered to your client, Mr. Sancho, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor, and it's been communicated and he rejects the offer and requests a jury trial.
All right, Mr. Sancho, are you requesting a jury trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, jury trial has been scheduled for September 14th after a conference off the record with state and defense. Defense, do you have any objection to the September 14th jury trial date?
Your Honor, I don't, no, not at this time, Your Honor.
All right, state, any objection to the September 14th date as a jury trial date?
No objection.
All right, Mr. Sancho, your jury trial will be scheduled for September 14th. You'll need to be present in court at 9 a.m. It's the 187 District Court. It is on the 4th floor, 300 De La Rosa. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All righty, then with that, we will close the record. And thank you for coming. Both you and Mr. Garcia are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, anyone else back from the breakout room?
Judge Kyle Lawrence here. I'm back in the breakout room. I have an offer on Francisco Rocha.
Yes. And Mr. Rocha is in the courtroom.
He is? Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, we just asked for a reset.
Has the offer been tendered to Mr. Rocha?
It has not. If I could go in a breakout room with him, I don't know if he's in the courtroom.
Yes, he is in the courtroom.
Okay.
Courtroom, if you could go to breakout room number 13, please.
Judge, when you get a chance, I'm back from breakout room. It's Colin.
Yes.
I'm back. I talked to Hunter. Can I get put in a breakout room with Miss Sanchez, Miss Hernandez, whatever her name is?
Okay, what breakout room? You were in number 8?
Yes, Judge.
Miss Hernandez, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 8. All right, and John Young, are you here? Okay. Michael Latimer, you can go back to number 8.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor,
All right.
Judge, this is Linda Corley.
All right, just one second. John Young, your client has come onto the Zoom.
And can you put us both in a breakout room so I can get his email address?
Yes, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 3. All right, Linda Corley.
I'm sorry, Judge, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to let you know I'm finished conferring on the Sarah Huseman. And I believe we're going to have a plea for you, but Marcus needs to talk to the complainant witness one more time. If we could have a setting, I think that the next one would probably be a plea.
Okay, what is Sarah Huseman's full name?
Let's see here. It is Sarah Jessica Huseman, Huisman.
And has the case been indicted?
Yes.
All right.
Actually has 2, Judge, and they're both indicted.
All right, to the clerks in the back, I don't have the file on Huseman. Sarah Jessica Huseman, please. What page is that on?
I didn't see it on the docket, Judge.
I'm not sure, Judge. I got a link, but I don't remember if I got a docket.
Okay, just 1 second. What is the cause number?
It is 2021 CR 2965 and 2966.
All right, to the clerks, could you bring me 2021 CR 2965 and 2966, please?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. And then your other case?
The other case is a plea this morning. I'm about to go into a breakout room to finish paperwork, so we're almost ready for you, Judge.
All right, and Norma on Huseman, can I have a 2-week reset date for that, please?
Give me a second, Judge.
Oh, shoot.
She can come back on the 13th.
All right, we're gonna bring Huseman back on July 13th. Thank you.
That works for me, Judge. Thank you so much. May my client be excused?
Yes.
All right, July 13, my birthday. Yay. Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome.
Sarah, you can log out.
Your Honor,
Just 1 moment.
Judge, can you give me those case numbers, please?
It's 2021 CR 2965 and 2966.
Thank you.
All right. Just, yes, Mr. Simmons.
Your Honor, I believe my client should be logged on now, Mr. Davis Villegas. So if I could be
Okay.
placed in the breakout room with him.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number, let me see where you were. You were in number 10. I'll send your client to number 10.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Mr. Villegas, you need to go to breakout room number 10.
Is
All
he
right,
logged on?
Mr. Barber Orta.
Yeah, you
Who do
sent
you
me
have?
to a breakout room, but no prosecutor ever came. There was another defense attorney there.
Yes, both you all are on the same case. That's why you're in the room with him, number 11. You both have DeMille Thomas.
I don't represent him. I don't have him.
Okay, I don't know why you're listed as, he says that you're on that case. All right. I'll send you to breakout room, a different breakout room. I see you're also on Lisa Garcia.
Right.
And Norma, can you also check Mr. Orta? Because for some reason, Mr. Garza thinks that Mr. Orta is also on the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon for DeMille Thomas.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Orta, I'll send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, John Youngback, you had me in breakout room number 3, but you sent David Villegas instead of.
I'm so sorry. Brandon Richardson, I'm going to send you to number 2. And John Young, if you could go to 2.
Okay, thank you.
And are the parties ready on Montez?
Attorney Pro Tem's already, Judge. I'm not sure if defense is back.
Okay, where is
back, Your Honor.
defense? Okay. Brenda, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right, thank you. Just 1 second, Julie. Okay, what's the purpose for us being here today before we go on the record?
Yes, Your Honor. My client was originally on a PR bond, but apparently on the record picked up a new number 1. and the PR bond was revoked. I have the victim on Zoom standing by, Adelita Perez.
Okay.
She can explain to you that well, she can tell you in her own words what happened.
Did you all file a motion or no?
Yes, Your Honor, it's on file. I don't know if they've accepted it. They should have by now.
All right, is there any way you can email me your motion because I don't have it?
Yes, ma'am, I'll do it right now.
All right. And everyone, just give me one.
What's the email, Your Honor? And I'll forward the acceptance.
What I'm going to do is I'll put it to you in the chat box.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, the court is calling 2018 CR 4789B, State of Texas versus Richard Montez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Miguel Nájera, Attorney Pro Tem.
James
Alongside
Ishimoto.
Mr. There you go.
All right, and for the defense?
Oscar Cantu, Your Honor.
And Orlando Castañon.
And are you Mr. Montez?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor, I am.
All right, we're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
No objections, Judge.
Any objections from the defense?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Montez, do you have any objection to this hearing taking place by video?
Oh, ma'am, Your Honor, I do not.
All right, the defense has filed a motion to set bond. Mr. Montez has been remanded without bond. Has the state had a chance to review the defense's motion?
Yes, Judge, I received it this morning and I did take a look at it.
All right, and is the state ready to proceed on this motion?
State's ready, Judge.
All right, defense, it's your motion. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'd like to call Adelita Perez as a witness.
All right, could you state your name so that we can see you on the screen? How is she listed? Does anyone see?
She's listed as iPhone.
All right, what is her full name, please?
Adelita Perez, Perez. Ms. Perez, do you know how to turn off the mute so you can talk?
All right, just give me one moment, everyone. Tony Hernandez, is your client on bond or in custody?
He's in custody, Judge.
All right, I'll send him to the breakout room with you.
Thank you, Judge.
I'll send him to breakout room number 19.
And Judge, his
Mr.
case is going to be dismissed if we can be excused.
All right. After I receive the dismissal, And Ms. Perez is connecting to audio, everyone. All right, could you say something for us, Ms. Perez? And Norma, on Tony Jimenez's client, I've just signed a dismissal. So after he's finished with his client, if you can let them know that he can be taken back.
Yes, ma'am.
And let me see, I'll be able to tell you what seat he's in. He is L12.
Thank you.
All right, Ms.
I think
Perez,
she's
can you
on
say
now.
something for us, please? Are you able to speak?
Mrs. Perez, I believe the judge was asking you if you can speak.
All right, are you able to state your name, please?
Adelita, would you state your name? Maybe she can't hear us.
I think her volume is down too low.
I just sent her a chat asking her to turn up her volume, so we shall see what happens.
Your Honor, this is Miss Middleton.
Yes.
I've been waiting over an hour in a breakout room for Tom. I didn't know if I got forgotten.
Okay, let me see where Tom is. What's your breakout room number?
Let me see here. Come on.
She's in number 6. Tom, could you go to number 6 and speak with Sonny Middleton on Andrew Orozco, please?
He stepped away for a minute. When he comes back, I'll let him know.
All right, thank you. All right, does somebody want to call Miss Perez and ask her about her phone situation?
I'm doing that right now, Your Honor.
She needs to turn her volume up. She can't hear on her end.
I already turned it up.
On your phone.
I can barely hear you.
That's because you need to turn up your volume.
I did.
On
I
your
turned
phone.
it all the way up.
Do
Okay.
you have headphones, Mrs. Perez?
Excuse me?
Do you have headphones?
Yeah, I'm trying to look for them. I can't find them.
Well, keep the phone to your ear because we've already seen your face, so we know it's you. If you can keep the
Okay.
phone to your ear, we might be able to do this.
Okay.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand if you could state your name for the record and please spell it.
Adelita Perez is Adelita, and my last name is Perez.
All right, defense.
Ms. Pettis, are you currently listed by the police as the complainant in a cause of action against Richard Anthony Montez?
Yes.
Can you tell the court why they were called to your house the night Mr. Montez was arrested?
They called him because he had told me to call the cops.
Why did he need the cops there?
Because we were arguing.
Okay, but why did he need the cops in particular to come?
Oh, because I didn't want him there.
All right, well, what keeps him from just leaving?
Because he has a ankle monitor.
And when the police got there, did y'all explain to him that he had an ankle monitor?
Yes, I think so. Yes, we.
And what
we
did you
told him.
ask the police?
I told him that I didn't want him there. That to take him.
Okay, and did you hear what he told the police?
No.
Okay, but were you calling the police because you were afraid or because he had the ankle monitor?
No. Well, I was afraid. So.
Okay, but is he the one that suggested calling the police?
Yes.
Okay, do you know why?
Because he can't go nowhere without the ankle monitor. He'll get in trouble.
All right. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, State.
Miss Pettis, can you hear me okay? Miss Pettis, can you hear me? Adelita Perez, can you hear me? My name is Miguel Nájera.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me, Miss Perez?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. I have a couple of questions for you, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Are you talking about the incident that happened back in June of 2020, so June of last year?
Yes.
And officers were called to the location because Mr. Montes had made threats to kill you and himself. Isn't that correct?
No. He had made threats. He wanted to kill himself and me, but when I told him not to be saying that, I told him not to be saying that, and he told me that he was trying to say it like my ex.
Okay. Well, on June the 16th of 2020, do you remember an audio statement being taken from you by the police? Do you remember that?
Yes.
You remember saying that you and him had gotten into an argument and that he had a gun on him. Do you remember saying that?
Yes.
And that while holding on to it, he said he would kill you, himself, and your family. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
Ms. Pettis?
Judge, can I make an announcement?
Excuse me, we're in the middle of a hearing. Who's asking to make an announcement? Who asked to make an announcement?
That was me, Your Honor, Kyle Ernst.
We are in the middle of a hearing on a case.
Sorry, Judge.
All right, continue, please.
Ms. Pettis, when the police arrived, did you explain that you wanted them to be there and that he had asked for them to be there?
Yes.
And what was their response?
I don't remember.
What did they do?
They took him.
Okay. Now, why are you here today? What's the purpose of this? Are you asking for him to be released?
Yes.
Do you still fear for your life or that of your family?
No.
Do you want the judge to maintain the ankle monitor and all the other stuff he had before he was incarcerated?
Yes.
And is this the kind of behavior that he's known for, worrying about the police and keeping the conditions of his bond while you two are arguing? Is that what you're saying, that he still has the presence of mind to do that?
No. No.
Okay, so what was he primarily worried about that day? Being arrested or keeping the conditions of his bond like he's supposed to?
Keeping the condition of his bond.
All right. No further questions, Your Honor.
right, anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor. Well, argument, but not for this witness.
All right. Is this witness excused or subject to recall?
We can excuse you, Your Honor.
Defense, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, do you rest?
We do.
All right, state, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Do you rest?
We do, Your Honor.
All right, then the court will hear closing arguments. Defense, it's your motion, so you can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think what's striking about this case is the man is supposedly having a argument, situation that's threatening to his family. Despite whatever they said, their primary concern here was getting him out of the house, which is what we tell them to do. It's what we teach them to do in de-escalation tactics. Yet he would not do that until he had instructions from the police or permission because of his monitor. He doesn't want to get arrested. And that's obvious because he remained there until the police arrived. And their solution was the only one they had at the time, was to simply take him into custody and put him in jail. The circumstances are they have a statement to that effect. I'm sure tempers were heated that day, but the evidence does not reflect that a weapon was found at the apartment. There's nothing in the evidence to indicate that he was armed. But what we do have, which is undisputed, is that the solution these two individuals had was to call the authorities and seek an instructed withdrawal that would not result in his arrest. He's asking you, after a year of doing time to think about this, to release him again under the same conditions. And I would argue that indicates his propensity towards violence is nowhere near as great as his desire to maintain his bond conditions. I have never had a case where a defendant is worried more about his ankle monitor than the threat of arrest. And for him to be punished for a year of incarceration, I'm sure he'll keep that in mind if you would choose to release him again before trial, that he would keep his temper, keep his concern focused on not only maintaining the conditions of his bond, but being an absolute Gandhi when it comes to dealing with his family, friends, or other persons. I know it's a stressful time. I know that inmates often have many triggers, but what struck me as odd in this case is the severity of the charge coupled with his behavior of being a rational, conscientious person who only desire was to remain free, but to do so under the conditions this court had set. And I just can't recall another instance where I had a case like this where that was even articulated.
All right, state.
Your Honor, defendant was was granted a PR bond, and let me double check here to make sure I get my dates correct. That would have happened back on December 7th of 2019. And since then, he did pick up a violation report. He had GPS and was not allowed to go to any locations other than those that were authorized. On April the 13th of 2020, a few months after being given a PR bond, he stopped at a Mexican restaurant on Zasamora Street, Fred's Fish Fry, and Sam's Club, a superstore. It wasn't but a couple of months after this that he picked up the violation that had him arrested, which was a terroristic threat. And I am not the attorney pro tem on the terroristic threat, but as the fact that I did have the affidavit for search warrant, I was able to cross-examine the witness about the fact that she herself stated he was armed, was threatening to kill her, himself, and her family. Based on the fact that the defendant is on a capital murder charge, is facing life without possibility of parole, we'd ask this honorable court to deny the motion to set bond.
All right, is there anything else from the defense? Because it appears that your client, Mr. Montez, wants to say something to the court. Defense, do you want Mr. Montez to say something to the court?
Yes, Your Honor, that would be fine. He's very articulate and responsible.
All right, Mr. Montez, if you could unmute yourself. Can you, before you say anything, can you raise your right hand for me?
Yes, ma'am.
You solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor.
All right, if you could state your name for the record, please.
Richard Anthony Montes.
All right, defense.
Mr. Montez, do you recall one of the violations involving a hospital trip?
Yes, sir.
Who was in the hospital at the time?
My girlfriend, Adelita Perez.
And she had suffered what?
Stroke.
All right, and we provided that information, the documentation to the court.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we did.
On the night in question, why didn't you just get up and leave if the two of you are having an argument?
Well, I was on GPS monitor and I didn't want to mess that up. We were arguing. I didn't want to be there. She didn't want me to be there. So I told her the only way I can leave is if I had authorization by either court of law or the police, to my understanding, or my GPS. I told her to go ahead and call the cops so that way I could have a fighting argument if I left and they try to re-invoke me. That I could tell them, I was trying to do everything possible to not get in trouble and to not mess up my GPS and to not disrespect the blessing that I was given. I told her that I wanted to kill myself. She said, for me not to talk like that. I told her it's like if I'm like your ex, threatening with guns to shoot you and kill you and all your family and everybody. I try my hardest to do everything I can. I did stop to get something to eat on the way home, and I'm sorry for that. And I did go help her at Sam's one time, but I did ask my GPS because she had a stroke. She can't carry nothing.
All right, and we talked about those,
yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir, we did.
And those both happened before you were arrested?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you were told that there were violations, that if you continued that, you would be picked up?
Yes, sir. And on that night.
So is that why you were so insistent upon talking to the police and trying to get out of the house the right way?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that night I wasn't arrested. The cops actually let me leave because there was no threat. When I explained to them what was actually being said, she has a hard time saying things the right way because of her stroke. As you can hear her slur, it's affected her a lot. So when I broke everything down and they're like, oh, okay, so you didn't threaten her. I said, no, I was just using that as an example, saying, I'm not like her ex-boyfriend threatening her with guns to kill her, this and that. They let me leave. I got to my aunt's house. We gave them the number. They called me. I asked them if it was okay if I could be there till I got transferred to my mother's the next morning. They said yes. I went to my mother's. I was there 3 days. They called me and told me to step outside, that they were having trouble. I stepped outside and the police arrested me with the warrant of terroristic threat to a family household member. I told them all they had to do was let me know that I had a warrant.
If the judge releases you on some type of bond conditions, where do you intend to live?
To my mother's, where I was arrested.
Okay. And would you agree to stay away from Ms. Perez if the court instructed you to do that?
Oh, yes, sir. I would ask that would it be, but I have no control over that. But yes.
All right. Nothing further, Your Honor.
State.
Okay, Mr. Montez, you're currently charged with capital murder. You're aware of that?
Yes, sir.
And you've actually written a few letters to the court and to the DA. You remember doing that as well, right?
Sir, yes, sir, I have.
And in those letters, you basically admitted to some aggravated robberies you did while you were out as well. Isn't that true?
No, not aggravated robbery, sir.
Okay. Do you remember talking about robbing some people?
I remember stating some things, but I didn't never rob nobody. I was with somebody who robbed somebody.
Remember saying that you believe some people were trying to get you and this was self-defense because you had been out robbing people. Do you remember that?
No, that's not what I said.
Okay. And you heard Ms. Pettis testify here recently, correct?
Yes, I did.
And she admitted that in an audio statement, this wasn't some mistake. She said you threatened to kill yourself, her, and her family. So was she lying when she said that?
It wasn't a lie. She just misunderstood what I was saying. It wasn't a lie. I didn't say that.
And she also said you had a firearm. You heard her say that, correct?
I just explained to the court what was said on my part.
But that's not what I'm asking you. She said you had a firearm, correct?
Yes, I heard that. Yes.
And that was a violation in itself of your bond. You realize you're not allowed to have a firearm, correct?
I understand that, but there was no gun on the scene.
Okay, well, certainly, but you had time before the police showed up. Would you agree with me?
I would Wouldn't have her call the cops if I had a gun, sir.
Okay, well, that's just coming from you right now. She called the police stating that there was a disturbance and that you had made threats to kill her and yourself. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I did say that about myself.
Okay, but you're saying you never threatened to kill her.
No, what I said was, I'm not like her ex, threatening to kill her and her family, pulling out guns on her and everything. I did have a knife.
Okay, sir, we're not here to mince words. She didn't say that. She said you threatened to kill her and her family, correct?
Apparently so.
Apparently so. And she made that statement again 2 days later after any confusion would have happened in an audio statement to the police. And she testified to that, correct?
Yes, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, so now are you saying she's lying about all of that?
I guess, yeah, if that's.
I have nothing further, Judge.
All right, anything else from the defense?
No, Your Honor. Thank
All right. The court's going to deny defense's motion for bond. He still will be remanded without bond. When is jury trial scheduled on this case? Have you all been given a jury trial date?
We have, Judge. We've been given a trial date at the beginning of December. I can look on my calendar here. I can tell you exactly the date. I want to say December.
It's December 7th.
Correct. And we are confirming right now as pro tems with all the experts to make sure they're available that day, Judge. We're actually trying to meet with the advocate this honorable court appointed us today to make sure there are no conflicts with that date.
All right. And there are no objections to the December date. Is that correct? December 7th, 2021 for jury trial. There's no objection from the state or the defense. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
No objection at this time, Judge, other than just checking with the necessary experts I have on the case to make sure there's no scheduling conflicts.
Okay. All right. Mr. Montez, your jury trial will be December 7th at 9 a.m. in the 187th District Court. With that, we'll close the record. Do you all need to speak to Mr. Montez before he's sent back?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Montez, let me see where you are. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 13 with your attorneys.
Yes, ma'am.
And may I be excused, Judge? I have to jump into another court.
Yes, of course.
Can you just make sure that he returns back to the main room so I can dismiss him?
All right, make sure your client comes back to the main room. And Mr. Cantu, Oscar Cantu, what breakout room you were not assigned? All right, you're all in 13.
Thank you, Your Honor. But can I watch Mr. Nahara jump? I've never seen that before.
Watch him do what?
I've never seen him jump, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. Jump to another court. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Got it,
All
John.
right, Ed, John Young, yes, and then Ed Shaughnessy.
I have not gotten the plea paperwork in the Zoom room with Mr. Brandon Richardson.
Okay. All right, the state, I'll make sure the state gets that to you. All right, Ed Shaughnessy, are you ready on Miss Stephanie Gomez?
Yes, Your Honor. We reviewed the PSI and the cap evaluation. She's in the courtroom.
All right, who's the prosecutor on Stephanie?
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt, ma'am. It's not showing the breakout room for me to leave.
Yes, it is. If you go to the 4 boxes at the bottom of your screen that say breakout.
Judge, this is Linda Corley. May I approach?
Just one moment. Mr. Montez? Thank you. All right, Ed Shaughnessy, we're going to take up your matter.
Yes, Your Honor.
To the courtroom, could you have Ed Shaughnessy's client come forward? On Josephine Gonzalez, please. And who is the prosecutor on Josephine Gonzalez?
It's a mystery to me, Your Honor.
I can do it, Your Honor. It's my understanding it was a silent.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, you assigned me to breakout room 8 to talk to Hunter. And for some reason, I only have access to breakout room 9.
All right, Hunter will meet you in 9. That
Okay.
room is empty, so he'll meet you there.
Sure, thank you.
That's my client, the courtroom, Your Honor.
Yes,
And that's your court reporter up in the top right.
that is, no, she's actually in the center. Mr. Cox, who's your
Yes.
client?
His name is Damill, Damill Thomas.
All right, I'm gonna send you to a breakout room. Let me see.
This is like Marcus in 11. Is that the one you want me to go to, Judge?
Yes,
All right, thank you, Judge.
you're welcome. Let me just find you on the screen. I can think they sent you to 11. Sean Hendrickson, who is your client? All right, he can't speak. He's doing something else. All right, here we go. The court is calling 2020 CR 2119, State of Texas versus Josephine Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Ed Shaughnessy for the defendant, Your Honor.
And are you Miss Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're proceeding by video. For the record, the defendant is in the courtroom. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
According to this defendant entered a plea on May 21st. She applied for deferred adjudication. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishments be assessed at 6 years in the prison. The state is silent on her applications and there is restitution. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, any objections from the state or the defense to the PSI report?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
All right, the state is silent. Defense?
Your Honor, I believe after reviewing both the TAP evaluation and the PSI, you have an individual before you who has her first felony arrest. She has no prior criminal record of any significance. She was upfront with the probation department regarding her past substance and alcohol abuse issues, but they seem to be alleviated a number of years ago in the past. I see no reason why this would not be an appropriate defendant to be placed on deferred adjudication, and we would ask that the court do that.
All right. Ms. Gonzalez, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear affirm testimony you give with the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. I've read the police report in this case. It appears that there was drug selling going on. Ms. Gonzalez, do you want to address that, or Mr. Shaughnessy, would you like to address that?
Your Honor, I think that might be more attributable to the co-defendant than my client. Although that possibility that it could be my client has not been excluded, but she does have a co-defendant that could very well be the individual more culpable in that regard.
All right. Ms. Gonzalez, if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? And know that I will have you drug tested today if that's something I wish to do.
Negative.
All right. So have you ever used drugs before?
I've been clean over a little 5 years.
All right, then that means that she was dealing drugs because she doesn't have drugs in the home to use because she's been clean for 5 years.
Well, I'm not sure that linkage is necessarily one that would establish that she was selling drugs, frankly, Your Honor. She was not charged with that.
Well, I'm trying to understand. I've read the PSI report. I've read the stipulations, and there were a lot of drugs. So, I mean, did she not know about the drugs? It seems that she did. What I'm reading here and I will share screen. What I'm reading here is there was a ledger that was found, and the ledger had names and amounts in it. And it is right here. Officers stated a digital scale marijuana grinder were collected from the location along with proof of residence and a drug ledger. So I'm trying to figure out, why should I give her deferred adjudication? She says she doesn't have a drug problem. She hasn't used for 5 years. At this location, there's a drug ledger. People are obviously selling drugs, which is a blight on the community. So I'm trying to figure out, why should I give her probation?
Well, Your Honor, if the state wanted to proceed on a possession with intent, they had that option. They did not take that option.
No, she pled to the lesser included offense of possession with intent to deliver controlled substance, penalty group 2A, 1 to 4 grams. So she did plead to possession with intent to deliver. They just included the lesser included offense of 1 to 4 grams instead of 4 to 400 grams. That's what I show.
All right. Well, in any event, Your Honor, that might be the present charge, but I'm sure this court over the years has taken into consideration the individual and their past history. And my client has virtual no past history with the criminal justice system. Is there a guarantee that she can comply with the terms and conditions of probation or deferred adjudication? No, but there's never those guarantees for anyone who comes before this court. And I think that I'm not saying that she deserves either form of an alternative to incarceration, but I am encouraging the court to employ those options because the possibility exists that she could comply. And if she does comply, it will benefit this court, it will benefit the Texas Department of Corrections, it will benefit my client. And that's ultimately what these sentencing hearings are all about. And for those reasons, we would re-urge our request for deferred adjudication, and the court can certainly inquire of the defendant of any matter before the court. She's there, she's willing to provide the court with any information the court desires.
All right. Ms. Gonzalez, why are you in a household with someone who's obviously selling drugs? And you're here before me with the charge of basically selling drugs.
It was just a little, some mistake that I've done. And I have changed my life around. I've been reading the Bible and I pulled away from everybody.
So when's the last time you saw Carlos Gonzalez?
Well, he's my husband for 30 years.
No, that's not my question. My question is, when is the last time you saw him?
Well, he's here with me.
All right, see, here we go. So we have you saying that you're making changes in your life, right?
Yes,
and you're getting away from certain people, right?
Yes.
And the person who, I guess, maybe is being said is the drug dealer in your family, you're still with them.
But he's not a drug dealer. He's changed his life around too. Yeah. He even ignored all his friends and some of his family too. It's just me, him, and my kids and my grandbabies. That's it.
Okay, why? See, again, this is what I want to understand. So how old are the grandchildren who are living? Are the grandchildren living with you?
No, they don't live with me. They got their own places. They're all grown kids already.
No, it says in here you have 9 children. Carlos 28, Miranda 25, Lucinda 23, Joshua 22, Ozzy 19, Rocky 18, Jeremiah 17, Sebastian 15, and Elijah 14. I hope Elijah and Sebastian are not living on their own.
No, they don't even live with me. I had lost custody of them a long time ago.
Okay, so Mr. Shaughnessy, how is this going to be handled? Because she's not allowed to be around people who are bad influences, and that includes her husband, Carlos Gonzalez.
Well, I don't know the disposition of her co-defendant's case, Your Honor. If he's going to be going to the Texas Department of Corrections, that would eliminate him as a person that my client's not supposed to be in the company of.
I mean, if I really have to move out, I'll move out.
So again,
Maybe the state can elaborate on what the status of the co-defendant's case is.
I did change my life around. I've been reading my Bible.
Hold on, Ms. Gonzalez. We're waiting to hear from the state.
yeah. Well, let me ask this. Ms. Gonzalez, I need
Yes,
you to be honest with me. You're going to get drug tested today. What are the results going to be?
negative.
Okay. Probation, how long will it take for us to get a drug test?
We can request one from 24 hours. I can see if somebody's in the courthouse that can do the drug test.
Right.
If not, we have to send them to.
Oh, no. This is what we'll do. Let's have her do a UA. And then let's have, if there's no one in the courthouse, call felony drug court. Felony drug court will send somebody over to do a UA for me. We're going to have a UA back on you before I make my decision, Ms. Gonzalez.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Shaughnessy, are you able to come back later this afternoon?
Indeed, Your Honor. What time would you like me to come back?
All right. Are you available at 2 p.m.?
Yes, Your Honor, but I will tell the court, and I don't need to announce it to the whole world, but my wife's in the Northeast Baptist or Methodist Hospital. She's been there for about 6 days. Well,
if you need to go there, we can recall this for another day.
No, I'd rather try to get it taken care of, but I hope it won't take too long at 2:30 because I have to get out there.
Oh, no. We're going to get it done today, and it may be done before noon.
All right. Well, I will check in with the court. I guess in maybe an hour or so.
Yes.
Okay. Good enough.
And
All
Your
right.
Honor,
Thank you.
Did you want to know the outcome of the co-defendant?
Sure.
Yes.
He was granted deferred adjudication.
Okay.
I assume by the same court, right?
And I assume the offer was for him to receive deferred adjudication, Mr. Shaughnessy. But we're going to see what's going on.
But I assume it's this court, right? That he was placed on deferred?
Yes.
Am I right about that?
You say this court, Mr. Shaughnessy, it may be Judge Boyd, it may be another judge.
Well, I
We'll find out. All right, so we're going to get a UA from your client.
Okay, super. We'll see you back this afternoon, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. All right, Norma, can you let them know 14I can go back?
Yes.
That's Mr. Montez. All right, Kyle Ernst.
Sorry about that earlier. I was having bad service and it was just silent, and I got kicked off. So I've relayed the offer to Mr. Rocha. We're just asking for a reset for him to think about the offer.
All right, Norma, on Francisco Rocha, can we have a 30-day reset?
Yes, ma'am. It will be, I think I gave you August.
Judge Ed Garza, may I approach?
Yeah.
Just a moment.
August 3rd, Judge.
All right, we're going to come back on your case on August 3rd.
Okay, thank you, Judge. And again, I apologize. No sound was coming through. I wasn't aware that the hearing was going on. Again, I apologize.
No problem. And August 3rd, that's going to be your plea deadline date. So your client will need to let us know whether or not he's accepting that plea by that day.
Okay.
All right. Does anyone see what page Francisco Rocha is on?
Page 8, Judge.
Thank you.
Your Honor, Mr. Rocha is here in the courtroom. Does he have to come here in person?
He can either be in person or on Zoom.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Ed Garza.
Judge, could I have a breakout room with my client Humberto Sanchez? I believe he's on. I'd want to go over the paperwork with him if he hasn't already
Sure.
signed it.
What breakout room were you in, Mr. Garza?
I was in it with Joe Ray Garcia. I hadn't had a breakout room with my client yet.
No, I mean, what breakout room number?
Oh, I don't know.
No problem. I'll find you.
I don't know.
Let me see, just a second. All right, you're in number 18.
Number 18. All right. Thank
Yes.
you.
And let me see, Umberto, if you could go to 18, please.
Thank you, Judge.
Everyone, just give me one moment to sign some paperwork. All right, Sonny Middleton.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
We have filed a motion for a bond reduction because e-file was busted last week. I thought it had filed, but come to find out it didn't, so I refiled it last night. So I know that's not enough warning for the state. So if we could set it for a bond hearing, and I'd also like to request an investigator because my client would like to take it to trial.
All right, Norma, can you reset this for a hearing on her bond motion in a couple of weeks, please?
Yes, ma'am.
And Judge, when you have a moment, can I approach on Ms. Peterson?
Yes, just give me one moment.
I can do the 12th.
All right, we'll come back on July 12th for your motion.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. And Norma, can you let them know if he's in custody that Mr. Orozco, obviously, I guess he is since there's a bond motion, that he can be sent back? Let me see what his number is. I don't see him on the screen.
They might have taken him back.
All right, David Woodard.
Judge, me and the state have conferred on Laurel Peterson. She's a first setting MTR. We'd like to know if she can have a 30-day reset to make a restitution payment and also come up with some clean UAs.
All right.
And if possible, Judge, if it can be after August the 5th, because I'll be out until the 5th of August.
All right, Norma, can you reset Peterson for a contested hearing after August 5th, please?
Yes, sir.
Judge, this is Sean Hendrickson. If I could approach when you have a chance.
All right, just give me a moment.
I can do August 11th.
All right, we'll have the, what time, Norma?
In the afternoon, Judge.
All right, we'll see you and your client August 11th at 2 p.m. for a contested hearing. Of course, if things work out and it's not contested, then your client can appear by Zoom. But if it's not something that's worked out, she'll need to appear in the courtroom.
Okay, thanks, Judge.
All right, you and your client are excused.
Judge, it's Tony Hernandez if you have a minute.
Just one moment. Sean Hendrickson.
Good morning, Your Honor. We're here on Michael Ward this morning. I had filed a motion to amend the conditions of bond, and we had a hearing on that about a month ago, where you had made some changes to it, and you were asking for us to come back. And so we're back now to, I guess, address the rest of the issues whenever you have a
Right,
chance.
is it criminal trial division?
Yes, yes, it is.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 2. David Collins, then Tony Hernandez.
Yes, Your Honor. We have a recommendation from the state. I haven't received any paperwork yet. Otherwise, we're ready to go on Melissa Sanchez, AKA Stephanie Hernandez.
All right,
NPR.
it's probably in your box or either in your client's box. Tony Hernandez, and then it'll be Bill Simmons.
Yeah, I've received no paperwork, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, well, make sure you get it. Tony Hernandez, and then Bill Simmons.
Yes, Judge. Herrera Mejia, my understanding is that they submitted a dismissal.
Yes, and I've signed it.
Okay, may we be excused?
Yes,
Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome.
Like,
All right, Bill Simmons.
yes, Your Honor. Spoken to Mr. Villegas. We have an offer that was conveyed to him. We'd ask that he be able to consider the offer, or I'm not sure if the court wants to set us for trial. He's not taking the offer at this time.
All right, his plea deadline date was today. So you're gonna have to confer over jury trial. Mr. Villegas, where are you? Davis Alexander Villegas.
Yes, ma'am, I'm right here, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Villegas, could you show your video for me, please?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. Mr. Villegas, is the court's understanding that you're requesting a jury trial, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So this is family violence, it's continuous violence against family. Who were you conferring with, Mr. Simmons?
Mr. Garcia.
All right. Norma, can you put some trial dates in the chat box, please?
Yes, ma'am. Give me 1 second.
All right, thank you. And those are done.
And Your Honor, while she's getting those, when would the court like to hear the pretrial motion so we can get those, to have those on the record?
Oh, if you just
I haven't filed.
contact Ms. Ferguson and she will set that on the docket for you.
Okay.
Bobby Gibbia, I think you're already in a breakout room, is that correct?
No, Judge, I'm not in a breakout room, at least not that I see. I have
Okay.
a family violence MTR.
Okay. I'm gonna send you, Bobby, I'll send you to breakout room number 5. All right, it's either gonna be August 23rd or September 14th.
September 14th is fine, Your Honor.
State, are you okay with September 14th?
Yes, Judge, that's fine.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 2745, State of Texas versus Davis Alexander Villegas. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state,
Joe Ray Garcia.
for the defense?
Bill Simmons.
And are you Mr. Villegas?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm Mr. Villegas.
All right, we're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, my understanding is state and offer has been tendered to the defense. Is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
And defense is Mr. Villegas rejecting that offer?
At this time, it is your.
All right, Mr. Villegas, your plea deadline date was for today, so the court will not accept any plea bargain agreements after today. The court will only accept pleas that are open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
All right, so this will be set for jury trial on September 14th. Both the defense and the state conferred off the record, and this is the date they requested. Any objections from the state to the date for jury trial of September 14th?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense for a jury trial date of September 14th?
No, Your Honor, just subject to getting our pretrial motions are heard and ruled upon, but we can get that. We've got plenty of time.
All right, and defense, off the record, the court informed the defense if they wanted pretrial motions to be heard, they needed to contact the court coordinator, and the court coordinator will hear those at that time. I'm sorry, the court will hear those at that time once it's been set by the court coordinator. So Mr. Simmons, we are available and ready to hear motions whenever you are ready for them to be heard. So the jury trial.
Coordinate with the judge, coordinate with the prosecutor when the time. So.
All right, thank you.
Yes, Judge.
Oh, unless what, Mr. Simmons?
Well, I know sometimes they move around, but that's another matter.
Okay. All right, this will be set for jury trial on September 14th at 9 a.m. Mr. Villegas, you'll need to be in the 187 District Court September 14th at 9 a.m. It's 300 De La Rosa. It's on the 4th floor. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I understand. I'll be there.
All right, we'll see you then.
Your Honor, just on the
Have a
record.
beautiful day, Judge. Thank you.
No,
Yes,
Mr. Villegas, just a moment. Yes, Mr. Simmons.
Just on the record, because we just had some issues with communication. So, Mr. Villegas, just be clear that it really won't be able to move forward if your contact information changes. You don't let me know what it is, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I got that, sir.
Gotcha.
All right, if there is nothing else, then we will go off the record.
Excuse me, Judge.
Thank you. This may be excused.
Yes.
We're gonna have to send her to the felony drug court. I already set it up. So if I can go to a breakout room to give her the address.
All right, to the courtroom. If you could go to breakout room number 13, please. And Ms. Reyes, are you able to move to 13?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Approach, Judge.
Yes.
Okay, on my client, I conferred, DeMille Thomas, I conferred with Mr. Sanders. We're gonna both request a reset. He wants an opportunity to talk to the complainant in this case. We may be able to resolve it.
All right, State, how much time do you need to speak to the complaining witness?
A few weeks, Judge. I made Cornelius an offer. He countered with a different offer that I need to run by the complainants. And so I'd like a few weeks to try to get a hold of both of them.
All right, Norma, can you recall Ms. Thomas for 1 month?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, just a moment.
I will give them the date of August 3rd, Judge.
All right, we'll be back on August 3rd. And August 3rd, Mr. Thomas, that will be your plea deadline date.
Well, Judge, it's my first setting. I get a pre deadline date on my first setting?
Is this your first setting?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I have on my docketing sheet, I show that this case was set in May.
Well, I don't know. I got an appointment letter May 21st. That's when I got I'm looking at my appointment letter. It was May 21st.
Okay, this is what I'm telling everyone. The court shows on the docketing sheet, this is why I fill it out. It shows that your first setting was May 26th. Then it was supposed to be recalled for today, June 29th, which we're here June 29th. I'll tell you what I'll do.
May 26th.
I'm going to set it for August 3rd, but immediately after that August 3rd date, there's going to be a plea deadline date that will be given.
Okay.
And I will note, and he has two cases. He also has 2020 CR 10273, and that case has been going on since April.
Okay, but I'm not appointed on that case, Judge. I'm just appointed on this one.
All right, see you back on August 3rd. Norma, can you let them know that Mr. Thomas can go back? He's listed as L11.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And Mr. Garza, you are muted.
Judge, if I may, I'm the one that appeared the last time and I don't think he'd been indicted yet. And Cornelius was appointed the last time I was here.
No,
So
I
this-
understand. I understand what you're saying, Mr. Garza, and I appreciate you coming to Caduceus Cox's defense. But if a case had not been indicted, I wouldn't have a docket sheet in it, and I wouldn't have the file with what happened in May. So there you go. But I appreciate you coming to his defense.
And I appreciate it too. Hopefully I don't get billed for that, but I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. You both are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You guys have a great rest of your Tuesday. Who are the parties on Alexander Devontae Willis?
Judge, that is me, Linda Corley, and I believe we're ready for our plea.
Who is the prosecutor?
Joe Ray, Judge.
All right. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 3039, State of Texas versus Alexander Devontae Willis. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Joe Ray Garcia.
For the defense?
Linda Corley for Mr. Willis.
And are you Mr. Willis?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
We're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Willis, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Defense, I'm showing you what's entitled discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case? And did you review that with your client?
Judge, I received everything that's listed on the acknowledgement, and yes, I have reviewed it with my client.
All right, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. And for some reason, the court does not have an application.
Could be an application for deferred, Your Honor. Yeah.
He's applying for deferred adjudication?
He did sign it.
Okay, I don't know where that is because I don't have it. We'll make sure it's noted on the record. All right, Mr. Willis, are you applying for deferred adjudication?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you review the deferred adjudication docket sheet with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review this document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We're proceeding on the lesser included assault, bodily injury, family, Class A misdemeanor.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Oh, thank you. All right, Mr. Willis, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you understand that what you're charged with by indictment is assault, family choking, strangulation, which is a third-degree felony? The range of punishment for that offense is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, family as a Class A misdemeanor? The range of punishment for that offense is up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement? If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement, sorry, just one moment.
Okay.
I'm sorry, we're back on the record. Did you understand if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement? If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Willis, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm going to show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, family as a Class A misdemeanor. There's a $1,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's to be no contact with Janelle, Janelle, Bogart, Borgart. Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of your plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver repeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
There are not, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 2 years. There'll be 100 hours of community service restitution and the BIPP course. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, family as a Class A misdemeanor. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
State offers State Exhibit 1 and all detachments.
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Willis, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Did you understand that today the state?
I can't hear you, ma'am. Something happened to where I can't hear you.
Okay. I think there's something you pressed on your end, something to do with the volume, maybe.
Hello?
Are you able to hear or no?
Yes, ma'am. Now I can.
All right, did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty of the lesser included offense of assault, bodily injury, family as a Class A misdemeanor. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, I just want to let you know that he is not in contact with the complainant, nor does he want to be in contact. I understand there's a no contact order. And he is, I believe he's living, are you in Dallas County or Tarrant County, Alexander?
Dallas County.
Dallas County. So we would like to request that the court would consider moving his probation to be supervised in Dallas County, Your Honor. He is very grateful to the prosecution for offering to lower this to a misdemeanor and appreciates the court's consideration on this.
All right, Mr. Willis, do you have any children?
Oh, yes, I have one.
What is his age or her age?
She's 2 years old.
And where does she live?
Well, she was staying in San Antonio, but now she's staying in Dallas.
All right. Is this child with the complainant in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
So it's Miss Bogart. Who's taking care of the child?
All right, Miss Bogart.
So you moved to Dallas County and now Miss Bogart is in Dallas County. What's going on here?
I don't know why she's here. That's a good question, Your Honor.
Well,
Mr. Willis has been trying to separate himself from her for quite some time, Judge. And just to let the court know, she has continued to reach out to him, but he does not respond. He is abiding by the court's orders.
All right. This is what the court is going to do. The court will sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication, $1,000 fine that will be probated. Thank you. Affirmative finding of family violence, no contact with Janelle Bogart, BIPP course, 100 hours community service restitution, transfer to Dallas County, regular Zoom reporting or in-person reporting. Are you employed?
Yes, I'm supposed to be starting back at my job at Sherwood this week. I was trying to get this done and out the way so I can move forward and working.
All right, proof of employment within 15 days, no employment as a home health care provider or supervising of minors, parenting classes, regular UAs or patch. Rebecca, is there anything else he needs?
No, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Willis, do you need anything else from this court in order to be successful on probation?
No, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with that, we'll close the record.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Before you do that, he does have a warrant out for his arrest. We had an issue with the bond company. And so we would request the court would recall that warrant.
All right. I'll recall warrant. To the clerks, the warrant is recalled on 2021 CR 3039.
Okay, Judge, I'll recall it right now.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thank you to Your Honor.
All right, you're welcome, Mr. Willis. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Be patient. Probation will meet you there shortly.
Okay.
And Miss Corley, if you don't have anyone else with us, you are excused.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. I've got to go to another court. And Alexander, I'll call you later this afternoon.
Okay, appreciate you.
Thank
All right.
you. Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Who are the parties on Humberto Sanchez?
Judge Boyd, am I dismissed?
No, you're not, Mr. Orozco. Why would you be all right. Who are the parties on Humberto Sanchez?
Ed Garza, Your Honor, for defense.
Joe Ray for the state judge.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 4554, State of Texas versus Humberto Sanchez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Joe Ray Garcia.
For the defense?
Ed Garza.
We're proceeding by video because of we're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state or the defense?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez, can you unmute yourself?
Yes,
Showing
ma'am.
you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, we have and we did.
All right, the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video, and the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Sanchez, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Sanchez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with assault, family choking, strangulation? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement, I'm sorry, Brenna. If you could only see what keeps popping up on my screen, there's something wrong with my computer today. So stuff keeps popping up.
No worries.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor, he has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor, he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting a $1,500 fine that will be probated. State recommends deferred adjudication. Take in consideration county court cause number 652800, affirmative finding of family violence, $100 to an approved family violence center, no contact with Cindy, Cindy, Nguyen, Nguyen. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand with an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to be designated as primary custodial parent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that to be the entirety of the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is asking that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years, that there be the BIPP course and 100 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
I'm guilty.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all its attachments.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanchez, I'm going to show you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right, for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding you guilty as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, we'd ask the court to follow the plea agreement.
All right, Mr. Sanchez, what is your problem?
My problem?
Yes. I mean, you're here for choking someone, putting a pillow over their head, trying to smother them. Then when they escape, then you go into the closet and try to choke them. And then when they try to climb out of the window, you're pulling them back in the window. So I'm trying to figure out what's your problem.
Oh, I was just night before, very drunk and mixed a couple liquor with beer and was just, kind of blacked out from there. And honestly, it was just a drinking problem that day since, it was new Christmas Eve and stuff. So.
No, I know a lot of people who drink and are intoxicated and they don't end up choking people. So according to this, you drank the night before. You're supposed to meet her parents. She wakes you up and says, we're supposed to be meeting my parents. You don't want to get up. She says, fine, then I'm going by myself. And then you start choking her.
I do not recall we were supposed to meet her parents that day, ma'am.
All right. Your biggest takeaway from what I just said is I don't recall that we were supposed to meet her parents that day. That's your biggest takeaway from that whole thing.
No, ma'am.
Here's the thing. I need you to understand, and I don't think you're understanding, You took your hands, put your hands around somebody's neck and choked them. They could not breathe. Then you took a pillow and put it over their face. They could not breathe. So your biggest takeaway shouldn't be, I don't recall if she was waking me up to go meet her parents. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Are you currently in a relationship with anyone?
No, ma'am.
All right, you should probably not be in a relationship with anybody
No,
until you have completed everything that you need to complete on this probation. When is the last time you had contact with her?
Since that day I was arrested.
You have any children?
No, ma'am.
And again, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. You probably shouldn't have any children until you complete this probation and learn some things about yourself. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
What do you do?
I work at a vape shop. Not a smoke shop, a vape shop, just to make that clear.
I don't even think there's any difference between people vaping and smoking. It's still, according to what I've read, and mind you, I could be wrong. I'm not a smoking expert because I don't smoke. My understanding is they're still both have health risks.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Of
So
course.
I don't know what the difference is between a vape shop and a smoke. I don't know why that's something that needs to be noted for the record.
Well, a smoke shop is you walk in and there's glassware and they can use other substances with that. Our vape shop is just strictly vape stuff and just helping people get off of nicotine.
Okay.
Mhm.
This is what the court is going to do. $1,500 fine, probated, 4 years deferred adjudication, take in consideration county court cause number 652800, affirmative finding of family violence, $100 to an approved family violence center, no contact with Cindy Nguyen, the BIPP course, 100 hours community service restitution, proof of employment within 14 days, no employment as a home healthcare provider or any employment that involves supervision of minors, regular Zoom reporting or in person, random field visits, 2 times per month. If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Negative.
All right, why are you shaking when you say that? You're going to get drug tested today. So you're not going to be positive for anything. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to run a drug test today. Let me know what the results are. So there'll be a drug test today, June 29th. And then there'll be random UAs or patch. Rebecca, is there anything else Mr. Sanchez needs?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Sanchez, is there anything else you need from this court in order to be successful on probation?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And also because this is an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're also, oh yeah, that's it. Brenda, another thing just popped up on my screen. All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Sanchez, here's where we are. You probably shouldn't be in a relationship with anybody until you can take care of an orchid for a year and have it survive and bloom. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm telling you that because that's a good test, because orchids, you need to take care of them. You have to be gentle with them. You can't move them around too much. And maybe it will teach you some patience in your life. You understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Mr. Garza, you can go to 1 or either you're excused. And Rebecca, you are free to go to breakout room number 1.
Okay, thank you.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Who are the parties on Melissa Sanchez?
I'm on that one, Judge Collins.
Madam Morris, Judge.
Your Honor, John Young, I just want to check on the plea paperwork on Mr. Richardson.
All right, just give me one moment.
I'm almost done with it, Mr. Young.
Okay, that's what I want.
And Judge, this is Sean Henderson on Michael Ward's case.
Just one second.
Sure.
Court is calling 2017 CR 5151, State of Texas versus Melissa Sanchez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Madam Morris.
For the defense?
David Collins, Your Honor.
And are you Ms. Sanchez? Could you unmute for me, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're proceeding by video. Any objection from the state?
None, Judge.
Any objection from the defense?
None, Your Honor.
Ms. Sanchez, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled motion to revoke community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you the same Melissa Sanchez who was placed on community supervision in 2017 CR 5151 for the offense of prostitution 3 or more priors on August 25th, 2017 for a term of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
On or about the 25th day of September 2019 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Melissa Sanchez, did then and there fail to comply with the rules, regulations, or instructions of the Bexar County Community Supervision and Corrections Department Substance Abuse Felony Punishment Facility Continuum of Care Treatment Plan, and that the defendant failed to attend outpatient treatment program in violation of condition number 15.
Do you plead to that, true or not true?
True, Your Honor.
State?
The state would waive and abandon the remaining allegations.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Sanchez, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 15, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $1,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of 15?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of 15 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge. Adjudication, revocation. Well, I guess it's already been adjudicated, so 2 years, Judge.
All right. Mr. Collins, is the agreement for 2 years?
It is, Your Honor, 2 years, and I believe it's a state jail. It's a 2-year state jail.
All right, Ms. Sanchez. I mean, the court tried to work with you, and I guess you don't want help. You want to continue doing what you're doing. The court can only do so much. If you don't meet someone halfway, then there's nothing we can do. Then I guess the agreement is for 2 years. Do you want me to follow that agreement and sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, Ms. Sanchez?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served, credit for any inpatient treatment that was completed. Has she completed any inpatient treatment?
I think she had safe P, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Sanchez, are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right, we can go off the record. Ms. Sanchez, you're going to have to make a decision in your life. Either you're going to want to be in and out of the prison system. Either you're going to want to continue doing what you're doing, which is not a safe profession at all, but we've done all we can to help you. You know, there's a song called Harry Hippie. You need to listen to that song. Because in that song, they say they try to help him, but they can't help him because he prefers to be where he is in life. So that's completely up to you. All right, Norma, can you let them know that L22 can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck, Melissa. Oh, and also, Judge, real quick before we can, I just want to make sure that we did have on the record that Melissa Sanchez, it's AKA Stephanie Hernandez. They're one.
Yes. They'll go by SID number, so it's one and the same.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Melissa. Stephanie.
All right, you're welcome. Good luck, Ms. Sanchez Hernandez.
May I be excused, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge. Bye, everyone.
Bye. All right, Mr. Orta.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Yeah, I was talking to the prosecutor. This is a criminal mischief. They only have an estimate on the damages. They don't have an actual cost. I don't know if they can get it or not.
All right, just give me a second. We'll get right back with you. Colin Hobbs, you've been patiently waiting. And as I say that, he zooms off the screen. All right, Michael Latimer. All right, Terry Carter.
Judge, we're ready to proceed on the plea for Nicholas Valdez, assuming the court's received all the paperwork.
Okay, as soon as I get the paperwork, we will take that matter up.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, this is Sean Henriksen. I had been, you placed me in a breakout room. I was waiting for a prosecutor. It's been quite a while and a prosecutor hadn't come in to see me yet. I just was coming back to check in on them.
Oh, no, I appreciate you coming back to check in. Let me see where you are. Just one second. All right, everyone. Sean Hendrickson is in breakout room number 2. He's working for a criminal trial division on Michael Ward, and it has to do with bond conditions.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. And Mr. Orta, on your case, what is your client's name? Garcia? Lisa Marie?
Lisa Marie Garcia.
And Judge, this is Hunter.
Yes.
I conferred with Mr. Orta, and there has been an estimate on this case included in e-discovery for quite some time. And I believe Marcus has talked to Mr. Orta before about the estimate, which is what we'd consider for this charge. So if they are not in agreement with that amount, that's fine. We can just put it on the trial docket.
All right. So today is your client's plea deadline date, Mr.
Judge,
Orta.
the thing is that, you know, it's not an estimate that we're looking at. We're looking at an actual cost. If it's less than what the jurisdiction of the court is, you know, then, you know, we're in the wrong court.
All right. I hear what you're saying. Norma, can I have a trial date for Lisa Garcia, please?
Yes, ma'am. If you give me just a second.
And where is your client, Mr. Orta?
She should be there. I'll talk to her. She should be on Zoom.
Lisa Garcia.
I'll send you a chat, Judge.
All right, Lisa Garcia, where are you? You need to turn on your audio.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 11228, State of Texas versus Lisa Marie Garcia. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hunter Morris.
For the defense?
Romaldo Horta representing Ms. Garcia, Your Honor.
And are you Lisa Marie Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state or the defense?
No, Your
None from
Honor.
the state, Judge.
Ms. Garcia, are you driving? All right, then you need to unmute.
No, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any objections with us proceeding by video?
No, ma'am.
All right, state, has an offer been tendered to the defense?
Yes, Judge. Alternative offers.
All right, this was set, your plea deadline date was set for today. This is an old case. Ms. Garcia, it's the court's understanding that you're rejecting the offer. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we're proceeding with jury trial. State defense, you will be coming back on August 23rd. Is that correct, Norma?
I put July 22nd, Judge.
I didn't get that in the chat box. It didn't come to me. All right, so we'll be coming back on July 22nd for jury trial. Ms. Garcia, you need to be in the 187 District Court on July 22nd at 9 a.m. Do you understand?
So
Yes, ma'am. In person?
Yes.
Okay.
It's 187 District Court. It's on the it's on the 4th floor, 300 Della Rosa. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So what date do you need to be in court?
On the 22nd, July.
All right, we will see you then. If there's nothing else, Mr. Orta, you and your client are
I'm
excused.
still gonna ask, do we get a copy of the actual amount or of the cost of the damage? Because it's a big issue.
Okay. Okay, are there chickens somewhere? This is really
Yes, my
like,
background.
oh, Mr. Orta has chickens in his yard.
And
All right,
cats and
Colin
dogs.
Hobbs. Yeah, Colin Hobbs.
Your Honor, can you hear me?
Yes.
Conferred with the state. They made a new offer this morning. I've spoken to my client. He is going to reject the offer, and we would need a trial setting on the case. I'm going to be putting in a motion for a court-appointed investigator. Do you have an amount that you authorize so I can go ahead and pre-fill it out?
Oh, there's a general amount that's already pre-approved. It should be listed on the voucher form.
Okay.
State, is this Joe Ray or David Martin?
I think I've spoken with both of them throughout the case, but David was the one I spoke to today.
All right, Norma, can you put a trial setting date in the chat box, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. Joe Ray or David Martin, are you here?
I'm here, Judge.
All right. And Colin Hobbs, where's your client, Francisco Tristan?
He's 187 Tristan, Your Honor.
All right,
Wait.
187 Tristan, can you unmute for me, please?
Hear me?
Yes, we can. All right, the court is calling 2020 CR 8979, State of Texas versus Francisco Tristan. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state,
Joe Ray Garcia.
for the defense?
Colin Hobbs for Mr. Tristan, Your Honor.
Okay. And are you Mr. Tristan?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. My understanding is that an offer has been tendered and rejected. Is that correct, Mr. Hobbs?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Tristan, can you unmute for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you requesting a jury trial?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The date that the court coordinator has given me is July 22nd.
Judge, do you think we can move this to August by chance, just so I have a little bit of time for my investigator to get to work on the case? This is one where I was appointed rather recently based on the passing of a prior defense attorney on the case.
Okay.
My client has a hold through November of this year anyway, so it's not a matter of him staying in extra time, so to say.
All right, Norma, do you have an August date? And State, do you have any objection to moving it to our August date?
No objection.
Give me 1 second, Judge.
Okay, we can place you on August 23rd.
Perfect. Thank you, Judge.
State, do you have any objection to an August 23rd trial date?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Tristan, do you have any objection to jury trial on August 23rd?
No, ma'am, I'll be here.
All right, then we're going to set your jury trial for August 23rd at 9 a.m. It'll be in the 187th District Court, 4th floor. The court will not accept any plea bargaining agreements. If you decide to enter a plea, the court will only accept pleas that are open to the court. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Norma, can you let them know 17H can go back?
Judge, am I to appear in person that day, or is this
Yes.
Zoom kind of call docket? Okay, making sure.
No, yes, you'll need to appear in person.
And do we meet in the 187th, or is there a different meeting spot? Because you have
187.
Perfect. Thanks, Judge. Just making sure.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Y'all have a great week.
Thank you, you too. And Norma, can you see if you can get Ed Shaughnessy back? We have his client's test results. Lauren Smith Carrington, hi.
Hi, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning. All right,
Your
have you had a chance to confer on Del Bosque?
Yes, I did, Your Honor. I had a quick chance to confer with probation and discuss. My client sold her car recently, Your Honor, and so she is going to have the ignition interlock installed on her new vehicle. There was a report showing a 0.04 BAC on one of her blows, and so I had chatted to her. I also had a chance to confer with probation about it. She's telling me she is adamant she does not drink. Her partner does not drink. So I think she is here at this time to be admonished by the court. And that's how we left it.
All right. Did you have a chance to confer with someone from the state?
No, Your Honor, not yet.
Judge, we did talk about this.
Okay. All right. And what is the recommendation?
On the VR?
Yes.
To continue regular testing and to get ignition interlock installed on the new vehicle within the next, hopefully, 2 or 3 days.
All right. She will need to have the ignition interlock installed before Friday.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right. So that needs to be installed before July 2nd.
That will be done, Your Honor.
All right. Then you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Have a great one.
All right. Bye-bye. Hector Garza, who are you here for?
Good afternoon, Judge. Your Honor, I'm actually here on a case that's set for tomorrow. We have an MTR set tomorrow. I was hoping to meet with one of the prosecutors.
Okay, I'm gonna have you Zoom back in the afternoon because we have a heavy docket.
Okay, that's fine.
All
I'll
right.
touch base at 1:30. Thank you.
Sure, it'll be the same link. Michael Latimer.
Yes, Your Honor. On Leo Hernandez, we need a trial setting on Homero Vasquez Tellez. I need to confer with him on the first amended MTR, but we're ready to enter a plea on that, but I still need to talk to him first.
All right, let's start with the person that you say you want a jury trial on, Leo Hernandez.
Yes.
All right, did you confer with the state on this case?
Yes.
Okay. Who would be the prosecutor who would be handling this?
It's Hunter Morris, Judge.
All right, so the dates Norma has put in the chat box for me, July 22nd, August 23rd, or September 14th.
I'm sorry, what was the August 14th? Was it August 14th?
No, September 14th.
What was the August date? Oh, 22nd.
No, it was August 23rd.
Yeah, that's fine. I have a seminar in July, criminal, and yeah, August 23rd is fine.
Hunter?
I'm not seeing anything that week, Judge, so that should also work for me.
All right. Mr. Hernandez, you need to unmute yourself.
Hello?
Yes. Court is
Yeah.
calling 2020 CR 0703 State of Texas versus Leo Hernandez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hunter Morris.
For the defense?
Mike Latimer, ready?
And are you Leo Hernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video. Any objections from the state?
None, Judge.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez, do you have any objections with us proceeding by video?
No, ma'am.
It is the court's understanding that an offer has been tendered and that offer has been rejected. Is that correct? Defense. Mr. Lattimore, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Hernandez, are you requesting a jury trial?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your jury trial will be scheduled for August 23rd. The court will not accept any plea bargain agreements at that time. The court will only accept pleas that are open to the court. You'll need to appear in the 187th on August 23rd at 9 a.m. It's 300 De La Rosa, 4th floor. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
What date do you need to appear in court?
August 23rd,
What time?
9 o'clock, 4th floor.
All right, see you then.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're excused.
If you can pass me to the breakout room, I just need to talk to Homero Vasquez to talk about the first amended MTR that was given to me this morning.
Okay.
And then we'll be ready to enter a plea and take care of that.
If you all will go to number 7, please.
All right, thank you.
Judge, this is Hunter.
Yes.
If Brandon Richardson could go to a breakout with John Young.
Okay. Yes, Brendan is there. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Judge, I just sent you a chat.
Okay. Thank you.
Am I excused to go?
Yes, you're
Yes.
excused. And Rebecca, I don't know if you received it or not, but Melissa Sanchez, she pled true to number 15 and was sentenced to 2 years in the state jail facility.
Okay,
And then, let me see. All right.
And Judge, whenever you're ready, I'd like to approach on Michael Ward.
All right, just give me a moment. All right, Rodolfo Lozano. Rodolfo Lozano.
Yes,
All right. All right, Mr. Lozano, you're here for a compliance hearing. So do you know what the issue is with you?
Yes, I was failed to give my address to my probation officer apparently.
Well, I mean, it's not apparently, that's what you failed to do.
I mean,
So
I gave it
here's
to
the,
before I left.
here's the thing, Mr. Lozano. You're on deferred adjudication for possession 4 to 200 grams. If a motion to revoke is filed against you, and if the state proves whatever allegations they put in the motion, and I find them true, you could potentially end up in prison for 20 years. So the question for you is whether or not you want to keep your address a secret from probation. Is that something you want to risk 20 years with?
No, ma'am. I gave her my address when I got the pass to come to Nueces County. I gave her the address then and there.
No, it says CSO's manager had a staffing with the defendant and gave him 1 month to provide an address. The defendant was constantly asking about travel to Seattle. The defendant was given a report date of June 14th to return with an address and a plan. The defendant failed to report as scheduled. An email was sent to the defendant who stated he was in Corpus Christi.
Yes, ma'am. I was trying to go see my mother just passed away. She was in ICU in Seattle, but she's deceased now. I've been in Corpus. I'm living with my father now. That's the only place I have to live right now.
Well, no, here's the thing. I don't understand why there's a failure to communicate. All they want to know is where you're staying.
I gave them my
That's all
address.
they want to know. They want that address, and they're
When I
saying
got
that you're not giving it.
When I got the travel pass, the travel permission slip from my probation officer, I gave her the address then and there.
Listen, let me just tell you the report, because I mean, you're acting as though you haven't received this report from them. It says the defendant was released from jail on March 30th, 2021, and never attempted to contact the CSO. This CSO attempted to reach the defendant by sending emails, making calls, and sent the field team to track down the defendant. The defendant responded to this CSO's email in May 2021. The defendant was instructed to report to this CSO's office on May 17, 2021. During the defendant's office visit, he mentioned he was living in Corpus Christi, Texas with his father, but wanted to reside in Bexar County. CSO's manager had a staffing with the defendant and gave him 1 month to provide an address. The defendant was constantly asking about travel to Seattle. The defendant was given a report date of June 14th to return with an address and plan. The defendant failed to report as scheduled. So here's the thing. They want proof of your address and you're giving it today. If you don't give it today, then they're going to, the next box that I check, can you see on here? There are different boxes for me to check. You see that number 2 where it says file MTR?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think you want that. So here's the thing, just to see what was going on with you, I checked the box and I wrote in personally compliance hearing. So obviously they're not being able to get in touch with you to get your address. You're giving them an address today. If you don't give them the physical address today, where you're staying and what's going on, what's going to end up happening is I'm going to get another supplemental report, and I'm not adding any writing of my own. I'm going to check the box that says file motion to revoke. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are you?
I'm 34 years old, ma'am.
All right, so you're 34 years old. You're not a teenager. You should know how to communicate. So you need to communicate with probation. I'm sending you to number 1. You're going to give them all the information that they're asking for, and you're doing that today.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Sean Hendrickson on Michael Ward.
Yes, Your Honor. So I've had a chance to confer. We're here. So we had a hearing a little more than a month ago, and originally I filed a motion on a no contact order and I guess permission for my client to travel. You had removed the no contact order as to my client's mother, but you had said that he couldn't go home because of an issue that you were concerned with, I guess, related to my client and his brother. And so that's what we're here to address today. I spoke with the state and they're not agreeing to it. So we are asking for a hearing on that, but because of the time and my client's phone is about to die or may have already died, we're asking to come back this afternoon at 2:00 to address that issue.
Okay, see you then.
Okay.
And we'll make that at 2:30, okay?
And my client and I are both excused?
Yes, see you at
Thank you.
2:30.
2:30. Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, anyone else ready? Because it's not, we're going to take our break now. Michael Latimer, are you ready on Homer Vasquez Tellez?
Yes, we are ready, Your Honor. We're going to plea on condition number 1.
Well, has the paperwork been signed?
I have not received any yet, but I'm looking at my computer. All right. That's what I meant. That's what I was asking.
And Norma, Orlando Castellone, I think, has Mr. McBride.
Okay.
And so we can have him come back this afternoon.
It's Alfonso Cabanas.
Yes. I mean, his client is in custody. He's on the screen. Thank you. Oh, let me see that one quick. Is Tristan in there? All right, are the parties ready on Nicholas Valdez?
Yes, Judge.
All right.
Your Honor.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, Brenna. My computer is continuing to do weird things. But hey, it's Tuesday and we're going to keep it as Tuesday. Court is calling, and Brenna, it's two cases. Court is calling 2020 CR 12335 and 2020 CR 12336, State of Texas versus Nicholas Valdez. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
for the defense?
Terry Carter for defense.
And are you Mr. Valdez?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Valdez, in each of these cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? And did you electronically sign them?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
In each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? And did you electronically sign them?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, in each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled acknowledgement of discovery. Have you received all the discovery in this case? And did you review that discovery with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video and that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Valdez, in each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review those documents with your attorney and did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, do you weigh the reading of the indictment in each cause number?
Yes, Your Honor.
State in 2020 CR 12335, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, the state moves to waive the repeat enhancement allegation.
Any objection?
No objection.
And are you proceeding on the indictment as presented in 2020 CR 12336?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Valdez, in each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendant's waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you electronically sign them?
Yes, ma'am.
In 2020 CR 12335, you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4,200 grams. That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. In 2020 CR 12336, you're charged with the offense of felon in possession of a firearm. That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison with the possible fine up to $10,000. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
In either of the cases, if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
In each of the cause numbers, you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call them, the right to remain silent. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering a plea bargain agreement in each of these cause numbers, you're giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in each of these cause numbers?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses in either of these cause numbers?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him in each of these cause numbers?
In my opinion, he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent, was legally sane at the time of the offense in each of these cause numbers?
In my opinion, I do believe he's legally competent.
Mr. Valdez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter a plea in either of these cause numbers?
No, ma'am.
In each of these cause numbers, has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No.
In each of the cause numbers, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, I am.
In each of the cause numbers, are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. In each of the cause numbers, I'm going to show you what's entitled plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
In each of the cause numbers, according to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 5 years in prison. There's a $1,000 fine. There's no application for deferred adjudication. State recommends community supervision. The cause numbers will run concurrent, and the state will take in consideration NIMAG number 598858. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement in each cause number?
Yes.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement in each cause number?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement in each cause number?
Yes, Your Honor.
In each cause number, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it in
Yes, Your
each of
Honor.
the cause numbers? Did you understand
Yes,
by
Your Honor.
signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
There are not, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 5 years, 150 hours of community service restitution, TAP evaluation, no possession of firearms, $57 restitution to San Antonio Police Department for drug testing. Did you understand those are recommendations from the court, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then in 2020 CR 12335, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
And in 2020 CR 12336, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's no contest, please?
State offers State's Exhibit 1, all attachment for both cases.
Any objections?
Your Honor, the only thing we would ask is that Mr. Valdez has pled no contest. We would just like to make, because I am unable to do this electronically, the judicial confession language, we would just ask the court to strike confess and admits, and instead please write acknowledge that the evidence is legally sufficient to prove in order to not impact his no contest plea. Other than that, defense has no objection to State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments. And we would ask that change be made on sorry, I lost the,
On both cause numbers?
336 as well.
All right. The court has made those changes. Other than that, any other objections?
No other objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Valdez, in each of these cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them, and did you electronically sign them in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then in each of the cause numbers, the court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulations of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments in each cause numbers, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. And in each cause numbers, the court will find the defendant guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We will waive sentencing here, or we would like to proceed to sentencing. Yes, we'll waive our PSI, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Valdez, are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
I'm a diesel mechanic helper.
Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
What are their ages?
They are 10, 12, and then I have 6, and then 15. She just turned 15. And then I have a 17-year-old.
All right, do they live with you?
Three step kids and 2 are biologically mine.
Do they live with you?
2 out of the 5 right now.
All right, this is what the court is going to order. In 2020 CR 12335, the The court will sentence you to 5 years in prison, suspended and probated for 5 years, $1,000 fine, probated, concurrent with 2020 CR 12336. Take in consideration NIGHTMAG number 598858, 150 hours community service restitution, or you can pay $7.25 per hour to the San Antonio Food Bank, random UAs or patch. Outpatient treatment with probation. $57 to SAPD for drug testing. No possession of firearms, that should go without question. Regular Zoom reporting or in person. Proof of employment within 15 days. No employment as a home health care provider or supervising of minors. Parenting classes. And field visits, random, 2 times per month. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs under that cause number?
No, ma'am.
And in cause number 2020 CR 12336, court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 5 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 5 years, $1,000 fine, that'll be probated. Concurrent with 2020 CR 12335, taking consideration NIGHTMAG number 598858, random UAs or patch. Regular Zoom reporting or in person. So if your Zoom isn't working, you need to report in person. No possession of firearms. Proof of employment within 15 days. No employment as a home health care provider or anything that involves supervision of minors. Parenting classes. Field visits random 2 times per month. Rebecca, is there, and 150 hours of community service restitution, or you can pay $7.25 per hour to the food bank. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs under that cause number?
On this one, you're not going to do the outpatient, correct?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or
And
the
outpatient
57.
treatment.
It was a
Outpatient
one,
treatment.
I'm sorry, it was a one-time 57 to SAPD on the other case?
Yes. And this one, this is the felon in possession of a firearm, so I'm not going to do the 57 on this one.
Okay.
So outpatient treatment with probation.
And the
Mr.
community service hours, are they running concurrent as well, or is it a total of 300?
No, they're going to run concurrent as well. Mr. Valdez, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, I just had one question. How much is it for to the food bank an hour?
$7.25 per hour.
$7.25. Okay. No, that's thank you, Your Honor, for the opportunity.
All right, you're welcome. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And also, because this is a felony conviction in each of the cause numbers, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll close the record. Mr. Valdez, everything that you do from here on out, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could potentially result in me going to prison for 5 years? You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Your children look up to you, so you're going to have to do better.
Yes.
I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. Ms. Carter, you can go to 1 or you can be excused. And Norma, we're going to take our break.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
What about me?
Oh, Mr. Young, I don't have any paperwork for you. I'm sorry. Brenna needs a break. My mom probably needs a break. So we're going to come back at 2.
She's got to start watching soap operas instead of this.
Okay. Thank you, John. We'll see you
Okay,
back
when-
at 2, okay?
I have a 1:30 in the 226th. When do you want me back?
Well, 2 or whenever you finish with the 226, that's fine.
I shall. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you for your patience.
Judge, this is Hunter.
Yes.
I will be busy this afternoon, so Meredith will be filling in on this plea. So I'm going to email you and Mr. Young. There's just one change on the paperwork, and I don't want it to slip by forgotten.
Okay.
It's to the benefit of Mr. Young and his clients, so I don't want it to.
Hunter and I have already talked about it, so I appreciate it.
Yes, no problem.
Okay. Thank you.
And you want my
Bye-bye.
client, I'm assuming, back at 2 o'clock also.
Yes, please.
All right, Brandon, you heard her. I hope. You
I
still there,
think-
Brandon?
All
I'll
right.
try and contact you and make sure. It's the same Zoom number, correct?
Yes, it'll be the same Zoom link. And everyone, we're going to go off of